Michael
that was registered
Piper,
as a civil society
chairman and convener
the
of the Obedience
and
for a Better Nigeria. The Obedience for a Better Nigeria is a registered civil society organization registered since 2023. The Obedience for a Better Nigeria is a coalition of various civil society groups that are unified to see that we have a country that works for everybody. In 2023, we worked with the Labour Party. We coordinated the affairs of the Labour Party across all the 36 states of the Federation. We helped to propel the reputation of Peter Gregory Obi, because at that time we looked at the three contenders for the presidency: Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Atiku Abubakar, and Peter Obi. When we compared the three candidates, we believe that Peter Obi was the favorite amongst the three. So in 2023, we all worked together, collaborated to ensure what we all still believe was the victory of Peter Obi that was painfully stolen and hijacked from us. And we worked under a unified Labour Party under Julius Abure. Julius Abure will always be remembered in the history of Nigerian politics as the man who took a political party that was termed insignificant to a level never seen before in the political history of Nigeria. He took the Labour Party from, let me use the terms of football, from relegation to top one, but somehow they played the magic and told us we are top three. Now, if you were playing in any Premier League competition and you are top three, you are not fighting relegation. But now, what we can see is a deliberately orchestrated gang-up to disunite the Labour Party. The Labour Party right now has been infiltrated deliberately by people whose duty is to disrupt the cohesion in the party, whose duty is to ruin what we have collectively worked together. And I want to make it very, very plain and straightforward that after the 2023 presidential election, and INEC announced Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the winner of the election, there was enormous pressure on Julius Abure. The pressure was, mention any amount of money you want in any currency. We will give it to you, Julius Abure. All you just need to do is make a public statement that to concede that the Labour Party lost the election. If Julius Abure had come out after the 2023 election to say, congratulations to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he will probably be one of the richest Nigerians today. If Julius Abure had accepted to say, Labour Party, well, we concede defeat, Peter Obi will not even have been able to go to the law courts because the chairman of his own party has conceded defeat. But Julius Abure didn't do that. He was steadfast. He stayed with Peter Obi, followed him all through, down to the Supreme Court. Until the Supreme Court made its ruling, Julius Abure stood with Peter Obi. The English word in the dictionary for such behavior is called integrity. It is called faithfulness. It is called steadfastness. Julius Abure stayed steadfast with Peter Obi down to the Supreme Court. He never snitched on Peter Obi. He stood his ground with Peter Obi. He never betrayed Peter Obi. And I want Nigerians to remember that. There should be a reward for loyalty. There should be a reward for integrity. Loyalty should not be met with punishment. Now, that is about Julius Abure. Now let's come to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Our electoral law is very clear. It says, if you want to hold your party convention, you must inform INEC. Julius Abure and the Labour Party informed INEC 3 months before the party convention. 3 months they wrote to INEC, informing INEC. According to the Constitution, according to the electoral laws, INEC, sir, we are going to have our party convention in 3 months. Come and observe the party convention. After 3 months of invitation, INEC didn't show up. Who do you blame for that? INEC didn't show up. After the convention, Julius Abure took the certified true copy of that convention. Remember, the convention was not just about Abure. It was across board. Do you understand? It was across all. So now everyone is shouting, Abure, 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 Abure. It's not, the position, the hierarchy of the Labour Party is not just the chairman. We have states, we have regions and everything. He took this certified true copy to INEC to meet the INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, and say, sir, 3 months ago, you will recall, we invited you for our party convention. We expected you people to be there. You didn't come. And of course, the Constitution didn't say they must come, but they should observe. So here is the certified true copy of what transpired in the election. Mahmoud Yakubu received the certified true copy, acknowledging that in truth, a convention took place. And what happened 3 months down the line, 3 or 4 months down the line? The same INEC came up and said, oh, no, you ought to have done this, or you ought to have done that. Well, we are not very sure anymore of what you did in your convention. Isn't that laughable? Isn't that funny? And then, when they said that, Julius said, what do you mean? We did the right thing. The case went to court. In the lower court, he won. They went to the Court of Appeal. He won. They all confirmed that, yes, you did the right thing. Now the case went to the Supreme Court. We see today the mockery being made of the pronouncement of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court never said Julius Abure is not the chairman of the Labour Party. The pronouncement is clear. It says that the chairmanship of each party is an internal thing. It is meant for the parties themselves to go and settle it as an internal thing. It is not the duty of a court to decide who the chairman of the party should be. In other words, the Supreme Court told them, please go back home and organize yourself. That is what was said. And then what did we expect? We expected that the Labour Party people will come together and say, hey, this is a dance of shame. We're disgracing ourselves. Let's come together and unify our party. They didn't do that. Instead, they brought a woman that we never knew throughout the time of the obedience struggle. How many of you ever heard of that woman who says she's the head of a caretaker committee? If you are the head of a caretaker committee, what are you taking care of? What are you taking care of? as a caretaker committee. What are you taking care of when the party structure is still there, still intact? Now, again, I want to make this very, very clear. Peter Obi is a good man. I supported him. I voted for Peter Obi. I campaigned vigorously for Peter Obi. The videos are everywhere. I stood in the sun, in the rain, screaming, shouting, everyone vote for Peter Obi. I sacrificed 8 months of my life in the field campaigning for Peter Obi because we believed he was a good man. And I need you to remember this. As a presidential candidate, your campaign is based on your party manifesto. So everything Peter Obi said he was going to do was not Peter Obi's own thinking. He was reading out the manifesto of the Labour Party. Now, the election came, gone. A man who wants to be the president of a country as diverse as Nigeria should at least have some diplomacy to be able to resolve internal party conflicts. So if you cannot resolve the internal conflicts of your party, what is the guarantee that you can handle a country as politically, religiously, traditionally, culturally diverse as Nigeria? Even Russia and Ukraine that are at war, they still sit down to have peace talks. Gaza and Israel, Hamas still sits down with Israel to have talks. Even with the trade war presently going on between America and China and the rest of the world, they still sit down to negotiate. Can a good-thinking Nigerian explain to me why Peter Obi cannot have a cup of coffee with Abure and said, let's sit down and talk this thing over? Must you destroy the Labour Party, destroy the entire structure of that party so that you can now build on what? On sand? Peter Obi came into a unified Labour Party. He inherited a party that was united. The party was united when Peter Obi came in. Is the Labour Party united today? And for those who think that we cannot take on Peter Obi, let me tell you, no one is above the law, no one is above criticism. I want to make it very, very clear to everyone that is watching this broadcast that Peter Obi has a tendency, unfortunately, very sad, a tendency of destroying any political party that gives him space, that accommodates him. Let me prove it. Peter Obi's career started with ABGA. ABGA was a political party that was formed by the late Ikemba Nnewi, Odumegwu Ojukwu. That was where Peter Obi cut his political tooth. He promised Ojukwu, under no circumstance will I leave ABGA. He joined ABGA when ABGA was aspiring to become a national party. After ruling for 8 years under ABGA, Peter Obi abandoned ABGA, and not just abandoned ABGA, he fractionalized ABGA to the point where ABGA may never recover. He went to the PDP. He was welcomed with open hands in the PDP. Atiku Abubakar made him his vice presidential candidate. Again, he promised Atiku Abubakar, I will be loyal and dedicated to you as a vice president. I will work with the PDP. They campaigned against Buhari, lost that election. Now, come 2023, Peter Obi, don't forget, now we're talking about Labour Party. 2023, Peter Obi was still a member of the PDP. Again, just like a virus, an internal disease, he began to fractionalize the PDP. Atiku pleaded with Peter Obi and said, Peter, if we make this thing a three-man race, Tinubu will win, because we will divide the votes between I, Atiku, and you, Peter Obi, and then Tinubu will run away with it. So please, swallow your pride. Let's repeat what we did and build on the structure that we have done. Peter Obi refused, left the PDP. Again, the Labour Party, which is Julius Abure, accommodated Peter Obi into a unified Labour Party, a party with a very solid, leadership structure. Abure is a great administrator. When we brought in Peter Obi, he brought most of us in the civil society groups and said, please, let's work together and build the Labour Party. We all worked together. And after the election, Peter Obi said, I won this election, and I will prove it in court that I won. He went to court. So if he believed he won the election, who was the chairman that won that election? Julius Abure. Do you dismantle a winning team? No. And then he accepted. Julius Abure followed him all through the process, down to the Supreme Court, stood still. He stood firmly behind Peter Obi. And after the Supreme Court judgment, we were expecting someone who wants to be a president should be a unifier. So after that, we're expecting Peter Obi to say, well, we have come this far. Let's build on this structure. Let's keep it together. But instead of doing that, he asked for just one favor. And what was that favor? That Julius Abure should be sent away, sent packing from the party he has been all through decades for a man who just joined in a few months. So I want us to check the dictionary definition of betrayal. What does the dictionary call a traitor? How do you describe someone who turns against or a dog that bites the hands that feeds it? And with all of this, we kept on trying, suing for peace. I personally, for the past 6 months, we've been begging Peter Obi, please, don't destroy this Labour Party. Don't destroy this party. You can't just keep doing this. What is so difficult in you as Peter Obi, sitting down with Julius Abure? He has been there for long. Peter Obi said, no. Julius must go. Go to where? So you want Julius Abure now to leave and to return to Edo State and become an Okada rider? Or he should go and buy a keke and start running Ring Road in Benin? And everything we did to make peace, to make Peter Obi see reasons, all failed. Now, in spite of the judgment, the Supreme Court didn't say, go and take over the Labour Party. It says it's an internal thing. You guys go and resolve the issue. We were expecting that after that we are going to see a remorseful Peter Obi who will call Abure and say, Abure, enough is enough. Come, let's talk it over. Instead, he conspired with the present governor of Abia State, Alex Oti, to form a rival group. within the Labour Party. This is not the first time. You will recall when Lamidi Apapa, when the election was still in court. I don't know how many of you remember that. Lamidi Apapa was sent to come and destroy the Labour Party. Abure stood still. He fought against Apapa, made sure that Peter Obi was protected. Today, this Lamidi Apapa now has seen, an opportunity to come back and complete what he couldn't do at that time. And Peter Obi is aiding and abetting this. So we begin to ask ourselves, how can someone be so politically naive? How can someone be so delusional as not to know that destroying the Labour Party is destroying the hope of the average Nigerian? This is the only party that talks about your papa, your mama, and your pikin. It's the only party that has human beings as its logo. The APC has a broom, an object as their logo, a broom that can be used to whip and cause injury. The PDP has an umbrella, which is also like a weapon that you can use. This is the only party that people have come to associate themselves with. Peter Obi is not as popular as most people try to make him seem. He is the beneficiary of the collective efforts of those who want a better Nigeria. The only credential that Peter Obi is flaunting is that he ruled Anambra State for 8 years. If Peter Obi was so successful with ruling Anambra State for 8 years, by now, Nigerians will be begging to relocate to Anambra State because the living condition of the people in Anambra State will be the best. If we give you between Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, Kano, Kaduna, and Anambra, choose one of them to spend the rest of your life, how many of you will choose Anambra State? So that you ruled Anambra State for 8 years is not enough qualification. That you are able to come out with statistics and data is not enough qualification. That you make promises based on the manifesto of the Labour Party is not enough credential to be the best presidential candidate. We, the civil society groups that collaborated with the Labour Party to ensure the successful outing in 2023, we are disappointed with Peter Gregory Obi, and we are making this public, that Peter Obi is complicit. He is working against the interest of Nigerians. He is not fighting Abure. He is destroying the prospect of a credible opposition. And I am telling you, if you fight Abure today and you remove Abure from the Labour Party, I am assuring you that all the civil society groups that supported Abure will leave the Labour Party. And Nigerians will never forgive Peter Obi for destroying this party, just like he did to ABGA, just like he did to PDP. People used to say that Labour Party is the second largest party in Nigeria. We are actually, right now, as the third. We're actually the second because PDP has been destroyed from within. We all know. We all know what Wike is doing. Is Wike a member of PDP or APC? He is in PDP to destroy PDP. We all know that. We can read the handwriting on the wall. So what role is Peter Obi playing now? Is he unifying the Labour Party or destroying the Labour Party? Every average Nigerian right now is wondering, leave it, is wondering, what is Peter Obi's intention? What does he want to achieve? He's making it easy for Tinubu to sweep the election in 2023. So I am here saying that Peter Obi is politically naive. We have known him to be a political prostitute. a political ashawo, a political olosho. But what he is doing right now, Nigerians can no longer tolerate it. So that's why we, the civil society groups, are giving Peter Obi, Alex Oti, and that young lady who we never knew as an obedient from anywhere, who accidentally found herself in the Senate, we are giving them 48 hours to realign with the Labour Party, to sit down in a negotiating table with Julius Abure, or risk being expelled from the Labour Party. And those of you who are thinking the Labour Party will collapse if we expel Peter Obi, sorry. Banish that thought from your mind. Nothing of the sort will happen. The Labour Party is not a new party. Please, members of the press, let everybody know that. Alex Oti is not the first governor that the Labour Party has produced. The Labour Party have produced, what's his name again? Mimiko, Olusegun Mimiko. He ruled Ondo State for 8 years under the Labour Party. He didn't destroy the Labour Party. He made the Labour Party stronger. This is the first time the Labour Party got an Igbo man to be a governor. And in less than 2 years, he wants to destroy the Labour Party. And let me say this plain. I'm not scared of anybody. The Igbos are good businessmen. They are good traders. But when it comes to politics, they are politically naive. Very politically naive. They are good in counting money. They are good in transaction. They are poor politicians. And Peter Obi is just proving that narrative. The politics he's doing right now is a childish politics. He's delusional, and he needs to stop what he is doing. We are not just talking about Abure. All the state chairmen of the Labour Party are all loyal to Abure. All the vice chairmen of the Labour Party are all loyal to Abure. Abure called a meeting a few days ago at the Labour Party headquarters, head office in Jabi, and every single Labour Party executive attended that meeting in solidarity with Abure. So who are the people that Peter Obi and this funny woman with a tongue-twisting name, you can't pronounce her name without nadi. Nigerians never knew her. You know, they are trying to scuttle what we all received. Now, let me round up with this before I take questions from the press. Just in case you have bought the lie being told that Julius Abure's tenure had expired, let me set the record straight. Julius Abure used to be the national secretary of the Labour Party. How many of you know that? And when he was the national secretary of the Labour Party, the then chairman of the Labour Party unfortunately died. That's how he became chairman. Now, let me take you back to when Goodluck Jonathan was vice president to Yaradua, right? When Yaradua died, who became president? Goodluck Jonathan, right? He had to complete the tenure of Yaradua. And his own tenure started counting when he won the election. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, Julius Abure simply completed the tenure of the late chairman. So, Julius Abure is just starting his tenure now. So, there is no vacancy in the Labour Party. So, we are being deceived. What we are seeing now is an attempt to deceive the gullible public, to deceive the deceived into believing that the deceit is not actually a deception. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the much I can say. We'll be open for questions. Thank you very much. Eagles FM.
Most of my question you've answered in the course of your narrative. Now, what still bogged my mind is this. Should Peter Obi be expelled public acceptance of Peter Obi that when you mention Labour Party, what the average Nigerian think, who the average Nigerian think about is Peter Obi.
Thank you.
Now, if Peter Obi is taken out of the picture,
Yeah.
what is the future and success of the Labour Party, especially in the quest for presidential position?
Thank you very much for that brilliant question. The Labour Party will get stronger without a virus. In fact, it's like you have a tumor that is a malignant tumor and you cut it off. What happens? The patient is going to survive. The Labour Party is not a new party, it has survived. And for those who keep saying that Peter Obi is synonymous with the Labour Party, I just gave you the background of Peter Obi. He was a member of ABGA. He was a member of PDP. 2023, Peter Obi was a PDP man. So if he came in, it was because we, the civil society groups, we marketed him. Peter Obi is the beneficiary of a well-orchestrated, well-calculated marketing plan. The campaign for Peter Obi was not Peter Obi himself. There were lots of groups. I was one of those working, directing the logistics for Peter Obi. So if we could do that for Peter Obi, we can do it for anyone. So anyone trying to sell that idea that when Peter Obi leaves the Labour Party, it's over with the Labour Party, it is a lie. Peter Obi campaigned based on the manifesto of the Labour Party, not the manifesto of his own self as Peter Obi. So if Peter Obi had been made the president of Nigeria, it will be the Labour Party manifesto that he will be carrying out. So that belief that, all hell is going to let loose when Peter Obi leaves, that is not going to happen. Nigeria is a great nation. We have people who are qualified. Let me make it point blank that Peter Obi is not the most qualified man to rule Nigeria. Let us look at his credentials. What is his qualification? What makes Peter Obi the only qualified person to rule Nigeria? Every Nigerian citizen has the right to aspire to the highest position or to the position of being the president. So Peter Obi, we agree, he has his personal ambition to become the president of Nigeria. And it is my personal opinion that Peter Obi is being blinded by his selfish ambition to be Nigeria's president, and he is not allowing that ambition, he's allowing that ambition, that selfish ambition, to destroy the Labour Party. And if we let him destroy the Labour Party, it will be the third political party this man will be destroying. And that's why Abure is standing his ground. Sorry, you got away with it in ABGA, you got away with it in PDP, you are not getting away with it in the Labour Party. Our papa, our mama, our pikin must be protected. We are a party that is fighting for our father, fighting for our mothers, and fighting for our children. We've been fighting this battle. We invited him to come and be a part of us, and now that he wants to destroy us, we are giving Peter Obi and his team 48 hours to go and realign with the Abure, the chairman of the party, or he will be expelled. We, the coalition of civil society groups, are asking Julius Abure to expel Peter Obi if he doesn't fall in line with the party. Thank you very much.
For accepting him into the Labour Party with the fear of him causing division at the end of the day, yet you allowed him to be or to run as the president during the campaign?
We thought he was a changed man. We made a mistake. We are sorry. We made a mistake. Now, remember I said that we looked at the three candidates. The situation in 2023 is not going to be the same situation in 2027. 2023, we had three top candidates: Tinubu, Atiku, Obi. The civil society groups decided to align with the Labour Party and support Peter Obi. With the present behavior of Peter Obi, we, the civil society groups, are saying, sorry, we can't align with you. And we are giving you 48 hours. So we're not telling you, we're giving you sufficient time, Peter Obi, to go and change your ways. And then we can forgive you and go on working together. But if he continues what he's doing, we will be very, very glad to get rid of him. And we will continue. And let me answer the question of the obedience. Now, this is something that we in the Labour Party do not accept. Because if you follow article, they call you articulated. You're articulated. You follow Kwakwanso, you are Kwakwasian. You follow this, you follow sheriff, you are sherified. You follow this. So when they started saying this obedient, I was one of those who said, will you stop this nonsense? I just told you, that's why we started this thing by singing the old national anthem. It wasn't, we were not obedient because Peter Obi says obedience. It was the former national anthem. It says, arise, O compatriots. Nigeria's call, obey. And the former national anthem said, the labor of our heroes past shall not be in vain. That's why they changed it. Because of we, the civil society activists. So Peter Obi is a beneficiary of the struggle of the civil society activists. Let me give you a proper background. Before Peter Obi came in, there was NSAS. NSAS was a movement organized by civil society. You remember that? So when we were fighting, NSAS, they ended SARS. Now, we wanted to say, okay, end bad governance. They say, oh, we done too much now. Maybe we don't end SARS for now. Election, they come. Go and fight in the ballot box. So we were united. We needed a candidate that represented our mindset. So we aligned with Peter Obi. We are not political fanatics. We are not slaves to anyone's political ambition. So we aligned because we agreed with him at that time. Now we disagree with him. Now we disagree with him completely with what he's doing. He's playing the devil's advocate. He's becoming a virus in the Labour Party. And that's why, just to answer your question, that time the aim was not to look at what he did in APGA. We felt, okay, if APGA was a mistake, maybe PDP was also a mistake. Maybe he will not repeat the same thing in the Labour Party. But it is in this man's DNA to pull down any political party that gives him covering. He wants to pull down Abure. And remember I told you, all Abure needed to do if Abure was a traitor, after the election as announced by INEC, if Abure had come out publicly to declare support for Tinubu, will Peter Obi have been able to go to court? If Abure have simply said, well, I've tried my best, we lost the election, so let's not waste money going to court. Let's support and align with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I'm sure today he would have been made a minister or whatever. But he stood his ground. And today he is being victimized for being an honest person. So every day I say this, we need a national debate. I am challenging Peter Obi and his group to a national debate. Don't hide behind one finger. Come to the open, come to the public. Sit Peter Obi on this side and his team, and sit Abure on this side on his team, and let Nigerians find out who is telling the truth and who is telling the lie. Peter Obi is taking undue advantage of the popularity that we, the civil society, gave to him. All members of the press, we worked for Peter Obi. Bloggers worked for Peter Obi. Peter Obi, not they give shishi. He is a multi-billionaire and one of the stingiest human beings you will ever meet. I am telling you, even when we were campaigning for Peter Obi, even those who were bloggers, popular bloggers, he didn't even give them money for data. They used their, excuse me, I'm in charge of this press conference. I could ask you to walk out if you try to shut me down. I'm a civil society activist. I am not anyone's stooge. Thank you very much. And please don't interrupt me anymore. So we are not afraid to call out Peter Obi. And he has a right of response. Let him respond to everything I'm saying. And let Nigerians find out. They can go and verify if what I'm saying is true or false. Members of ABGA are still there. We still have records. Members of the PDP are still there. We still have records. Must Peter Obi destroy the Labour Party before we know that he's a virus? So this is what we are saying. Don't destroy the Labour Party. You came into the Labour Party 2023. And in less than 2 years, you have turned the place into a war zone. This is what we are saying. I'm not afraid of calling out Peter Obi. I campaigned for Peter Obi for 8 months. I never received a penny from him. If Peter Obi gave me 1 naira, please, they should publish it anywhere. And I am talking about Abure today without receiving a penny from Abure. If Abure gave me 1 naira, he should come out publicly and tell everybody he gave me anything. So I'm speaking because I stand for the Nigerian people. Peter Obi is just proving to us that he's pretentious, he's deceptive, he's a fraud. And I'm calling him out. Thank you very much. Next question.
So, this question has stayed on my mind. During the 2023 election, anybody who is not standing with Tinubu and looks at Atiku as a past leader who really didn't achieve much, believes that Peter Obi is the best president.
Yeah. Yeah.
So right now we are on national TV and you describe Peter Obi. Some of these issues that you've explained here, a lot of common Nigerians will know.
Yeah.
And for us, as average Nigerians, it is what you say per what the other person says.
Yeah.
And just like you said, you call Peter Obi out and he has a right to come and respond.
Yeah.
So, but my concerns are, you describe Peter Obi as a virus,
I called him a fraud.
yes, and you're giving a line of explanation to prove that.
Yeah.
So, looking at the fact that Nigerians who do not stand with the other 2 candidates have always considered Peter Obi the best candidate for presidency in Nigeria.
Perception.
Yes, perception. But
Yeah.
2027 is coming.
Yeah.
When you were rounding up your statement, you called on Peter Obi and his other group to come to a round table
Within 48 hours.
to make reconciliations.
Yeah.
So, but like I'm saying, we are already on national TV and you've said a lot of things about Peter. So, but should Peter come back to have this roundtable discussion? What are the chances of Peter Obi representing Labour Party as a presidential candidate? That is first of my question. Then, how do you get to reconvince Nigerians again that Peter Obi, as the presidential candidate of Labour Party, can still do the job we elected him?
Thank you very much for that wonderful question. We're asking Peter Obi to repent of his sins. And for anyone who is a Christian or a Muslim or in any religion, we know God loves sinners. He forgives sinners. So all the multiple political atrocities and sins of Peter Obi will be forgiven if he repents of his sinful ways and makes amends. You know, we packaged Peter Obi as a popular candidate. You are all members of the press. You were all part of the packaging. It was a collective packaging. Everybody worked for that reputation. It's not like he's a saint. Do you get that? We worked for him because in 2023, we had 3 people. And we felt amongst those 3, he was the best choice. So everybody used their platforms. If I go to everybody here, if I check all your social media platforms, I will likely see people supporting. All those who supported Peter Obi, some have never voted before. Some are not even members of the Labour Party. They all came, supported him. What we expected Peter Obi to do after the Supreme Court judgment removing him was to unify the Labour Party. We expect to see the example of a precedent of what Peter Obi's presidency could be like from the way he handles the family affairs in the Labour Party. we are disappointed. What are we seeing today? If one small child should suffer mosquito bites in Nasarawa, Peter Obi will go there and say, hey, yeah, Jay, mosquito, I hope it's not an Anopheles mosquito. You see why we have to take over Nigeria? You see, hey, if I become the president, mosquito will not be biting people. If one boy should fall down from Okada in Sokoto, Peter Obi will go there and say, Jay, my son, you fell down from Okada. Hey, I hope you didn't contact typhoid. You know, the kind of politics he's playing is such a childish politics. So you think by just jumping around everywhere in the north that you are going to delude us, and Nigerians are not that gullible. We're not stupid. We're intelligent people. So what we are saying is that we want Peter Obi to change his ways. Peter Obi should repent of his political sins, and he should become politically born again. That is only when he can inherit the kingdom of politics, if there's anything like that. Peter Obi is my man. We are telling him, come back to your senses. The size of your head does not equate your intelligence. So what he's doing is so naive, is so childish. And if Peter Obi comes back within the 48 hours window we have given him, go and have a tea party with Abure. Go and sit down with Abure and drink coffee. And then when Nigerians see that beautiful picture, Peter Obi smiling with Abure, Nanadi, that lady's name is a tongue twister. Can you give me the pronunciation of her name? Nenadi. Okay, I have to use my nose to speak here because you can't enunciate her name if you have to use your other speech organs except you try to be nasal. So if we can see Peter Obi and Nenadi and Alex Oti, if we can see a picture with them and Abure drinking tea, Nigerians are good people. We will all say, this is what we are talking about. This is a sign of a good leader. This means that this man is qualified to rule Nigeria. He was able to settle the conflict of his party. But right now, that's not what Peter Obi is doing. So if Peter Obi repents, that's what I'm talking about, repentance. You know, we want to see that repentance from him. We want Peter Obi to be able to tell Nigerians, I am sorry. As a good leader, I shouldn't have allowed this to happen. Unfortunately, it has happened. Let's get together. Do you know the third columnist now? Look at Lamidi Apapa, someone who we successfully threw away from the Labour Party. He says he's now the chairman of the Labour Party. Who gave him that opportunity? It's for Peter Obi and his gang. Because they brought in a caretaker committee. What are you taking care of? What are you taking care of? Where were you when they held the convention? 3 months notice was given before the convention. How come you say you didn't know 3 months? You know, and the Supreme Court has spoken. This is an internal thing. Go home and negotiate with your people. Instead of going home, guess what they did? They took the certified true copy of the Supreme Court judgment and went to Mahmoud Yakubu, INEC. The same INEC you said that rigged your election is the INEC you are telling to reinstate you in your own party. What type of politics is this? What are we talking about? You know, we are reasonable people. And if you go to all the Labour Party offices across Nigeria, I'm challenging you as members of the press to go there and find out who are those sitting there. They are all loyal to Abure. They were the people that were there before Peter Obi came, and they are still there. I don't know if you understand what we're trying to say. The culprit in this situation is Peter Obi, because Peter Obi thinks he's invincible. He thinks he's above the law. He thinks he's above criticism. He thinks nobody can call him out. And if a man is behaving like this when he is just a candidate, he will be the worst dictator if you make him a president. My opinion. Because if we cannot talk to you when you are just a candidate, if you enter Asu Rock, you will be worse. I have been an activist all my life. I have gone to jail for Nigeria over and over and over again. Just last year, I was incarcerated for 32 days. I didn't cry to Peter Obi. I took the pain myself because Peter Obi will only use it to gain followers on social media. He gives somebody one bag of rice and everybody is aware of it. He goes to visit an accident victim and it's on social media. If Peter Obi is a Christian, did his Bible not tell him that don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing? Why does he believe in so much publicity? The campaign is over. The only thing Peter Obi should be doing right now is unifying his party. Instead of unifying the party, Peter Obi has brought back Lamidia Papa to come and scatter the party. We don't understand Peter Obi. And I want you to know that Peter Obi is not a poor man. He has never been a poor man in his entire life. He has never been a poor man. Peter Obi he doesn't know what hunger is. So don't tell me that a man who has never been hungry is actually going to solve the problem of hungry people. So we want Peter Obi to come back to his senses, to come back to the Peter Obi we saw in 2023, who we sympathize with, and we say, come, we will help you. That is not the Peter Obi we are seeing today. What we are seeing today is an autocrat. What we are seeing today is the making of a dictator. And that's why we are saying we don't want that. We're not going to let it happen. Thank you.